Welcome you all to the all new episode of Indian Polity from the Humanities. Uh, in this video, we are taking our series on Indian polity for the Indian constitutional development further, and we are going to talk about two acts, that is the Indian Council Act of 1892 and the Indian Council Act of 1909. So far, we have covered all those acts, important acts from 1773 onwards. So we covered the Regulating Act of 1773 and the Pitt's India Act of 1784 in the first video. Then we covered the Charter Acts of 1833 and 1853 in another video. And then we covered the 1858 Act and the 1861 Act in the third video. This is the fourth video in this series of constitutional development, and we will be talking about 1892 and 1909 Acts. So, before starting the lecture for today, I would like to request all of you to please subscribe to the channel if you have not done it so far, because it is going to help you all in your not just your civil services preparation, but also in increasing your overall knowledge about India. Okay, so let's start today's topic. The first we will discuss about Indian Council Act of 1892. 1892, the act which was passed by the British Parliament to rule or to improve the administration in India. It increased the membership or the number of members in the CLC, or say the Central Legislative Council, and the PLC, that is Provincial Legislative Councils. But it increased the number of non-official members only. So the number of official members would remain same, but the number of non-official members were increased both in central and in provincial legislative councils. But yes, even after this increase, the majority was of official members only, not the non-official, because in non-official members even Indians were included. So while making this law, while framing this law, they kept it that in mind, that they didn't want to increase the number of Indians in the lawmaking process. So though they increased the total number of members, but it was not more than the official members. So the majority was even then with the British themselves. Then after, the legislative councils, they were given the right to discuss the budget. Okay, the budget which was passed by the Viceroy, it was not the legislative councils were not allowed to discuss on it and ask supplementary questions on it. But in 1892 Act, this provision was made, and the legislative councils, both CLC and PLC, they were authorized to discuss the budget and ask supplementary questions on it, but there was no voting. Okay. Then after, what this act also did was, actually it provided for the nomination of some non-official members. Nomination of non-official members in Central Legislative Council. And this nomination was by the Viceroy in the CLC, and it was on the recommendations of different local bodies, you can call. Okay, so it was to be nominated by the Viceroy to the CLC on the recommendation of different local bodies. And who were these local bodies? These local bodies includes the PLCs, the Provincial Legislative Councils, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, and in PLCs the so for the Central Legislative Council, the recommendation came through PLCs and the Bengal Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so these two organizations the PLC and the Bengal Chamber, the Provincial Legislative Councils and the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, they were recommending the membership of the for the CLC, membership for Central Legislative Council through the Viceroy. And the same for the non-official members of for PLC, the recommendations were coming from the district boards, the municipalities, the universities, trade associations, zamindars, and the chambers of commerce. Okay, so they were these 6 associations who were recommending them for the membership of provincial legislative councils to the governors or the chief commissioners of that time. So this was how the non-official members were chosen. So you can see that indirect election process, the indirect election was introduced through the Indian Council Act of 1892. Okay, so that was it about this Indian Council Act. Now we will be covering the second act, which is Indian Council Act of 1909. Okay, so the 1909 Act, it was also called the Morley-Minto Reforms. Okay, Morley was the Secretary of State, Minto was the Viceroy, and on the name of these two officials, this act was named as Morley-Minto Reforms, which was passed in 1909. Now, Morley was the Secretary of State and Minto was the Viceroy at that time. This act raised the number of membership in the CLC and PLCs. Okay, in CLC it was made 60, the maximum number, but for PLC this was different. So it was not uniform in all PLCs. So it was made 60, which was right from 16. Okay, in Central Legislative Council, but there were many provincial legislative councils, and in different councils the numbers which increased were different. So we do not have any uniform number for that, but it was increased. And in CLC, Central Legislative Council, the majority remained with the official members, but in many provinces the non-official members were in majority now. So in 1893, when the membership was increased in both CLCs and PLCs, the majority was with the official members, but through the 1909 Act, the membership also was increased, and in Central Legislative Council, the majority was even then with the official members, but in provincial legislative councils, the membership was shifted towards the non-official members. Now, this act also enlarged the deliberative functions of both PLCs and CLCs. It increased their functions, and it gave the members of these legislative councils the powers like asking supplementary questions and moving resolutions on budget, etc. Even today, the voting right was not there, but they could advise the changes to the budget process, to the budget, and they could ask the supplementary questions to the executive body of Viceroy. So these authorities, these rights were given to the members of the legislative councils. Besides this, for the first time, this act made the provision to include Indians in the executive council. So far, the Indians were included in the legislative process only, but starting from 1909 Act, they were also included in the executive council of the Viceroy. And S.P. Sinha, Tatendra Prasad Sinha, was the first one to be included in that as a law member. Okay, S.P. Sinha. This act also legalized communalism. How? Because it made the provision for separate electorate for Muslims only. separate electorate. This term means that they were in the areas where the Muslims were in majority. In those areas, only Muslims were a candidate were allowed to fight for the election, to contest the elections, and only Muslim voters would have been voting for them. So this was the provision made for the, you can say that they said that it was for the benefit of the minorities, but it was actually to increase the communalism in India and divide India on the basis of religion. That's why, because of this process, Lord Minto, who was the viceroy of that time, he is called as the father of communal electorate in India. So this time, in the year 1909, it was just for the Muslims, but later on it was increased to include different other sections of Indian society as well. We will talk about them in further next videos. So, besides this, this Act of 1909 also provided separate representation to presidency corporations, to the Chamber of Commerce, universities, and jamidars. They were provided the representation, okay, in the legislative councils. So this was the whole conditions or the provisions of 1909 Act. So in this video, we dealt with the Indian Council Act of 1892 and the Indian Council Act of 1909. I hope you like the video. And besides this, we are also running our Telegram channel for the preparation of the two important exams of the civil services examinations. One is for the UP state, the exam which is going to be held on 11th of October. According to the recent calendar introduced, the Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission State Services Examination. State Services Examination. And for Union Public Service Commission, which is going to be held on 4th of October. So we are running channel on which we are going to post questions. We are posting questions, practice questions on these channels. So if you want to practice for these examinations, you can join our channel. And the name of our UPPSC channel is UPPSC 2020, and the name of our IAS or the UPSC channel is UPSC CSE 2020. You can search with these names on the Telegram channel, or if you want, you can just click on the link provided here to join these channels. So we are waiting for you to join our channel, and please join and start practicing for these exams right now. Okay, so I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please do not forget to press the like button and share the video with your friends and colleagues. And if you like the concept, and if you want to be updated with the videos that we upload on our channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. You can click this link. You can click the link here to subscribe to our channel. So I hope all was well. You learned something new with this video. By the time we are coming soon with our next video, please be focused on your studies and prepare for your examinations well. And best of luck to you all for your next exams and endeavors. Thank you for watching the video.